Maya Collins stood on the rain-soaked sidewalk, her phone clutched in one hand and her 4-year-old daughter, Lily's hand, in the other. The Uber app showed a black SUV arriving in 1 minute, and Maya had never been more grateful for technology. Her second-hand sedan had finally died that morning, giving up completely in the parking lot of Lily's daycare, and Maya had no money for repairs until her next paycheck, which meant riding to her first day at her new job via Uber, a luxury she normally couldn't afford. But desperate times called for desperate measures. This job at Sterling Enterprises was her chance to finally get ahead, to stop living paycheck to paycheck. To give Lily something better than thrift store clothes and worrying about rent. Maya had dressed carefully that morning in her best outfit, a beige dress and gray cardigan that she'd bought on clearance 3 years ago. She'd pulled her light brown hair back in a neat ponytail and even put on the small pearl earrings her mother had given her before she died. She wanted to make a good impression on her first day as an administrative assistant. Lily clutched her teddy bear, Mr. Snuggles, looking small and tired. She'd been up half the night with a cough, and Maya had debated calling in sick on her literal first day. But she couldn't. Not when she'd already used her last job's sick days taking care of Lily during her ear infections. Not when this job paid $3 more an hour than her last one. Not when they desperately needed the money. A sleek black SUV pulled up, and Maya quickly checked the license plate against her app. It matched. She opened the back door, helping Lily inside before sliding in herself, her worn backpack clutched on her lap. "Thank you so much for picking us up," Maya said breathlessly to the driver. "I'm so sorry we have a child." "I know some drivers don't like that. And we're going to Sterling Enterprises downtown, the main building. I have an interview. No, wait, not an interview. I got the job. It's my first day. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm just nervous." The driver looked at her in the rearview mirror. He was younger than she expected, maybe mid-30s, with dark hair and striking features. He wore a sharp suit that seemed too expensive for an Uber driver, but what did Maya know? Maybe he had another job. "Sterling Enterprises," he repeated, his voice smooth and cultured. "That's quite a company. What position are you starting?" "Administrative assistant in the executive suite. It's probably not glamorous to someone like you who drives successful people around all day, but for me, it's everything. The pay is better than my last job, there's health insurance, and they have childcare assistance. That alone is going to change our lives." The driver's eyes met hers in the mirror, and there was something in his expression Maya couldn't quite read. Amusement, maybe? Or concern. "I'm sure you'll do wonderfully," he said. Lily started coughing, that deep chest cough that had kept them both up. Maya pulled out a water bottle and helped her daughter drink, murmuring reassurances. "Sorry," Maya said to the driver. "She's been sick. I know I probably shouldn't be bringing her, but my regular sitter canceled last minute, and I couldn't afford to miss my first day. The HR person said there was a daycare in the building, so I'm hoping they'll take her even though I haven't registered yet. I'll pay extra if I have to." "You seem like a dedicated mother," the driver said. "I'm a desperate mother," Maya corrected with a tired laugh. "There's a difference. Dedicated sounds noble. Desperate is just doing whatever it takes, because you don't have a choice." I think they're often the same thing. They drove in comfortable silence for a while, the city waking up around them. Maya went over her mental checklist. She'd memorized the employee handbook they'd sent. She'd researched the company's history. She'd prepared questions to ask her supervisor. She needed this job to work out. She needed it so badly it physically hurt. "Can I ask you something?" the driver said. "Sure." "Why Sterling Enterprises?" "There are other companies that pay similar wages." Maya considered the question. "Honestly, it was the only place that called me back. I applied to 47 jobs over 3 months. 47. I got 2 interviews, and Sterling was the only offer. So it's not that I chose them. They chose me, and I'm grateful." "What did you do before?" "Receptionist at a dental office. The dentist retired and closed his practice. Before that, I worked retail. Before that, fast food while I was pregnant with Lily. I've never had what you'd call a career, just jobs. This feels different. Sterling has a reputation for promoting from within, for investing in employees. Maybe this could be the start of something real." "I hope it is," the driver said, and he sounded like he meant it. They arrived at Sterling Enterprises, a gleaming tower of glass and steel that made Maya's stomach flutter with nervousness. The driver pulled up to the main entrance. Maya pulled out her phone to rate the ride and add a tip. She could only afford $2, but it was something. As she confirmed the transaction, she noticed something odd. The app showed no driver assigned to her ride. The car was listed as Vehicle 217 with no name. "Wait," Maya said, looking up. "This is an Uber, right? The app is showing something weird." The driver turned to look at her directly for the first time, and Maya felt her breath catch. Up close, he was even more striking, with intelligent eyes that seemed to see right through her carefully constructed confidence. "No," he said gently. "This isn't an Uber. This is my car." Maya's face went hot. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought," the app said, "there was a black SUV. Your Uber canceled 2 minutes after you booked it. I saw you standing in the rain with your daughter looking stressed. I was heading to the same building, so I stopped. But you let me talk the entire way here. You let me tell you about my job, about my life, about being desperate. You let me think you were my driver. You seemed like you needed someone to talk to. And honestly, I was curious about who you were, who I am. I'm nobody. I'm just... Wait." Maya's blood ran cold as pieces clicked together. The expensive suit. The private car. The fact he was heading to Sterling Enterprises. "Who are you?" The man extended his hand. "Nathan Sterling. I'm the CEO of Sterling Enterprises. And if I'm not mistaken, you're starting today as my new executive assistant, not just any administrative assistant. HR made a mistake in your offer letter. They wrote the wrong position title. Maya thought she might be sick. She'd just spent 20 minutes telling the CEO of her new company that she was desperate, that she'd been rejected by 46 other places, that she couldn't afford childcare, that this job was her only option. She'd treated him like an Uber driver. She'd apologized for her daughter being in his car. "I'm going to be fired before I even start," she whispered. "Why would I fire you? Because I just humiliated myself completely. Because I mistook you for a driver. Because I overshared everything. Because I brought my sick daughter on my first day." Nathan glanced at Lily, who was watching them with big, curious eyes, clutching Mr. Snuggles. "Come with me, both of you." He got out and opened the door for them, and Maya had no choice but to follow, her cheeks burning. Nathan led them through a private entrance, past security who nodded respectfully, and up a private elevator. "The company daycare is on the 3rd floor," Nathan explained as they rose. "It's excellent, and enrollment is included in your benefits package. We'll get Lily registered this morning. They have a nurse on staff who can check her cough." "Mr. Sterling, I can't." "You can, and you will. As my executive assistant, you'll be working long hours. I need you focused, not worried about your daughter. This is in my interest as much as yours." They dropped Lily at the daycare, where cheerful staff members immediately made her comfortable with toys and juice. Lily barely waved goodbye, already distracted by a play kitchen that was nicer than their real one. Nathan then led Maya to the executive floor. His office was impressive, all windows and modern furniture. But what caught Maya's attention was the smaller office connected to it. "This is yours," Nathan said. "You'll coordinate my schedule, handle confidential correspondence, prepare briefings, and basically keep my professional life from descending into chaos. The previous assistant retired after 20 years, so you have big shoes to fill. But after our conversation in the car, I think you're exactly what I need." Maya stared at him. "How can you possibly think that?" "I literally mistook you for an Uber driver. And in doing so, you were more honest with me in 20 minutes than most people are in 20 years. You told me about struggling to make ends meet, about being rejected by dozens of companies, about doing whatever it takes for your daughter. Do you know what that showed me?" Maya shook her head. "Resilience, resourcefulness, determination, and honesty. Most people in your position would have pretended everything was fine, that they were thrilled to be here, that this job was a choice rather than a necessity. You told me the truth. That matters to me. But I was so unprofessional. You were human. There's a difference." Nathan pulled out his phone and showed her the same ride-sharing app Maya had used. "I was testing a new feature my company is developing, a corporate ride-share integration for employee use. The app glitched and canceled your ride but didn't notify you. When I saw you standing there, I realized it was our software's fault you were stranded. I couldn't leave you there. So you just picked up a random stranger? I picked up someone who needed help. And then I heard you talk about your daughter, about your determination to succeed despite obstacles, about your gratitude for an opportunity that 46 other companies passed on. Maya, I've been running this company for 8 years. In that time, I've learned that skills can be taught. But character, integrity, the ability to keep going when things are hard, those can't be taught. You have them. That's why you're here. Maya felt tears burning behind her eyes. I can't cry on my first day. That's definitely not professional. Probably not. But it's human, and I'll allow it. She laughed despite herself, wiping her eyes. You're nothing like I expected a CEO to be. Good. I'd hate to be predictable. Over the next few months, Maya proved Nathan right. She was organized, intuitive, and fiercely dedicated. She anticipated his needs before he articulated them, streamlined processes that had been inefficient for years, and brought a warmth to the executive floor that had been missing. But more than that, she and Nathan developed a friendship. He told her about inheriting the company from his father, about the pressure to maintain a legacy, about how lonely it was at the top. She told him about Lily's father leaving when she was pregnant, about rebuilding from nothing, about dreams she'd set aside but hadn't forgotten. I wanted to be a teacher, Maya admitted one late evening when they were both still at the office. Before I got pregnant, I was in college studying education. When Lily's father left, I had to drop out. Couldn't afford tuition and a baby. Is that dream gone or just postponed? Postponed, I hope. Maybe when Lily's older. Maybe when I've saved enough. The next week, Nathan called Maya into his office. Sterling Enterprises has a continuing education program for employees. Full tuition coverage for approved programs. I'd like you to consider enrolling in online classes. You could finish your degree while working. Maya stared at the paperwork he'd pushed across the desk. This is too much. It's an investment in a valuable employee. Purely selfish on my part. The more educated and fulfilled you are, the better you do your job. Nathan, you've already done so much. The daycare, the health insurance, the fair wage. You can't keep giving me things. I'm not giving you anything. I'm providing opportunities. What you do with them is entirely up to you. Maya enrolled in classes. It was hard, juggling work and motherhood and homework. But Nathan was flexible, adjusting her hours when she had exams, understanding when she was exhausted. Lily thrived in the company daycare, her health improving with consistent care and good nutrition. A year after Maya's first day, Nathan called her into his office with a serious expression. I need to tell you something, he said. I haven't been entirely honest with you. Maya's heart sank. Here it came. The other shoe dropping. Okay. That day I picked you up, it wasn't completely coincidence. HR had sent me your file the night before. I'd read your resume, seen your background. When I saw you standing in the rain with Lily, I knew who you were. I wanted to see who you really were, without the pressure of a first-day interview. So I let you think I was your driver. Maya processed this. You lied to me? I omitted the truth. And I'm sorry. But Maya, I don't regret it. That conversation told me everything I needed to know about your character. You've proven every day since that my instinct was right. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm promoting you to Director of Operations. It's a significant role, a significant raise, and I need you to accept it knowing the full truth. I won't have you thinking your success is based on anything other than your merit. Maya looked at this man who'd given her a chance when no one else would, who'd seen past her desperation to her potential, who'd become not just her boss but her friend. I should be angry that you lied, she said slowly, but I'm not. Because you're right. If I'd known who you were that day, I would have been performing. I would have been pretending to be whoever I thought you wanted me to be. Instead, I was just myself. Messy, desperate, honest. And somehow that was enough. It was more than enough. It was exactly right. Maya accepted the promotion. 3 years later, she finished her degree. Nathan offered her a position heading up Sterling's new educational outreach program, developing partnerships with schools and creating opportunities for underprivileged students. This is what I wanted to do, Maya said, looking at the program proposal. Teaching, but bigger. Changing systems instead of just one classroom. I know. That's why I created the position. They married the following year, not because Nathan was rich or because Maya was grateful, but because somewhere between that rainy morning and now, they'd fallen in love with each other's true selves. The CEO and the single mom who'd mistaken him for an Uber driver. At their wedding, Nathan told the story of their first meeting. About Maya's brutal honesty, about Lily clutching Mr. Snuggles, about how sometimes the wrong ride turns out to be exactly the right one. I could have told her who I was, Nathan said. Could have enjoyed watching her panic. Instead, I listened. And in listening, I found not just an exceptional employee, but my best friend, my partner, and the love of my life, Maya added. I thought I was getting into a stranger's car because I was desperate and exhausted. Instead, I was getting into the car that would drive me toward everything I'd been looking for. Home, family, purpose. Sometimes the wrong turn leads us exactly where we need to go. Years later, when Lily graduated from college, she gave a speech about her mother's journey, about starting from nothing and building everything, about the CEO who'd seen potential where others saw only desperation. My mom taught me that being vulnerable isn't weakness, Lily said. That asking for help isn't failure. That sometimes our mistakes and misunderstandings lead us to our biggest blessings. She got in the wrong car. She found the right life. And she taught me that there's no shame in starting over, no shame in struggling, no shame in being exactly who you are. The wrong ride. The right person. The perfect beginning. If this story reminded you that authenticity matters more than perfection, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment about a time a mistake led you somewhere unexpected. Sometimes our most embarrassing moments become our origin stories. Sometimes admitting we need help is what leads us home.